Well, good evening and welcome to the regular meeting of the Oak Hills Park Authority on March 19th, 2026. I'm Rich Dellinger, Vice Chair of the Authority. I would like to call the meeting to order at 7:01 p.m. and we'll do attendance first, and I'll call your name out as I see it. And if you could just say here, we'll start with Mary Varell,
Here.
Gary Leeds, Jeffrey Schweitzer,
Yep, here.
Jennifer McAllister,
Here.
and I see joining us at 7:02 is Denise Brown. We'll wait for her to unmute herself.
Hi, sorry I'm late.
And you're here. Thanks for being here. We also have popping up Robert Stowers here and Jennifer McAllister. Did I say Jennifer before?
Yep, I'm here.
And TJ Tromboli.
Here.
Also joining us as staff, we have Jim Schell, Mark Gardner, Jim Holliday, and in terms of others, we have Jerry Crawley from the supporters of Oak Hills Park. We have a quorum, so we've called the meeting to order, and we'll go on, and after roll call, we'll go to minutes, item number 3. So can I have a motion to approve the minutes?
Approve.
Denise, any questions, concerns concerning the minutes? Going once.
They looked pretty good.
Yeah, I looked over them. I couldn't find anything. So without any questions or concerns, can I call the motion for approving the minutes? Please raise your hand or signal aye.
Hi.
Aye.
Any abstentions or noes? I think that would be unanimous. Thanks very much. The next item in the agenda is public participation, and not on the agenda is our new tennis instructor, Arlen Donnelly. I think I may not pronounce that right. So we'll go to public participation on the agenda as the next item, and Arlen will be joining us as part of the regular minutes starting in April, but he volunteered to be here tonight, so I appreciate him taking the time. And Arlen, I just want to give you a warm welcome to Oak Hills. And I saw you on there for a minute now. Oh, I got you. You're unmuted. So could you give us a brief overview of how things are starting for you in the tennis center?
Yes, thanks. Hi, happy to be here, guys. So at the moment, just busy working on building my website, which is up and running. It's oakhillstennis.com. There's a bunch of information on there, but I'm still building that out. And at the moment, also still building my platform that I'll be using for registration and memberships. I plan to launch that within about 2 weeks, around April 1st. I have inquired about the ladies teams. All our teams are full, and we have a wait list of about 20 players across 3 teams. So that is something that's good. That brings in, the ladies teams bring in about 40% of the overall revenue. So we are in good shape over there. In terms of the courts will plan to be reconditioned the week of April 20th. Weather dependent. Spring does get rainy, but we plan to be ready by end of April and open up the courts May 1st.
Great. Does anyone have any questions for Arlen about the tennis center?
No, just welcome to the club.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Happy to be here.
Second that. Welcome.
It's a nice group, and I know you have little ones at home, so next month when you're on the agenda, you may have to wait a little longer to speak. You won't be part of public participation.
Yeah, I understand.
So just a warning, and yeah, anything we can do to help you get started, please let us know.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Okay. Yeah, I looked at the website. Looks great. I saw the addition that was put up for it, so I appreciate having that done, and hope we have a great year.
Rich, I just have a question on the website. Are we going
Yep.
to put a link to that website from the basic Oak Hills where it says tennis?
Correct me if I'm wrong, Jim, but I think there is on the golf site at the top a tennis and a link to this a new edition that was put up. Maybe Jim can tell me if I'm wrong.
Excuse me, if it's not done yet, I'll make sure it is done in the next few days.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Jim, is there anyone else out there on public participation?
There is not.
All right, great. So then we'll move on to reports. First, the chair, or vice chair. I'll just give a little bit. I talked to Alan last Friday. So a couple things from Alan. He wanted to first welcome Alan and Nick, who's on. We'll get to Nick Nowak in just a bit, but a warm welcome in terms of the authority, both Arlen and Nick, for joining us. Nick will give his update later. Alan also wanted to mention that coming up, we're going to have the next couple of months will be devoted to the budget, and I assume Mark will talk about this later, but we have to approve the 26-27 budget for next year. And Mark, can you just give us a little bit of update on how that's going to play out the next 3 months?
Starting next week, I will be devoted the next week, and then the first 2 days of the following week, basically the rest of March. I'm going to be pretty much full time into budget preparation, and then once I start with templates, I'll be sending files to both to Nick, Jim, and send it to him, give them a head start on working on it, and then we have some quick meetings. We sit down and go through the numbers for their department budgets, and then I am in charge of putting it all together, and I will present it most likely at the May authority meeting, and it's happened different times in different years, but if I present it in full, we can choose to approve it then, or other times I've presented it, given people time to think about it, and then we do the approval in the June meeting. So from now through all of April, we'll be very busy with budget for me.
Okay, thank you. I'm sure Alan will have this on the agenda for the April meeting, and we'll look forward to your work on that, Mark. Thanks very much.
Thanks, Rich.
He also wanted to mention the last meeting about contracts, and Alan and I and Denise talked, and so we just have a new contract for both Arlen, the tennis, and Nick. If any of the authority members want that, just send an email to Alan. He'll be happy to forward the contracts that we recently negotiated for those, or anyone else who wants a contract. Third thing, just on the report for the vice chair, is that, of course, we mentioned this at the end of last meeting. We're going to have some new Oak Hills Park Authority members. I sent out to everyone a kind of draft of a orientation package that we had worked on previously in other years. So if you could send me any corrections, additions for that, it just kind of outlines some of the responsibilities of the Oak Hill Park members. I did some bio stuff, both Arlen and Nick, and they want to change it, please that's fine. Just send me an update and I'll include it. I also put some expectations in for the executive committee, and I mentioned this at the end of last week or in the email. We're going to obviously have to have a new executive committee come July. And I sent out, because at the end of the last meeting, we talked about advertising for Oak Hill Park Authority members, trying to encourage people to apply to be the authority. I've actually I got some recommendations from both Alan and Steve Shepard. I've sent some people some notices of how to do that. I pretty much forwarded that all to you. So if you know someone that really you think would make a good contribution, or has made a good contribution, would be a great member of the authority, feel free to let them, apply on the website that's at the city site. And I'm hoping to get, the mayor to give us her recommendations in May, have the
Yeah.
city council approve it end of May or beginning of June. So we have new people on board, and then we'll update the orientation stuff. And lastly, at the end of the last meeting, we also talked about advertising it I think Gary brought this up about putting it on the website. So I actually did a little blurb. I sent it out to everyone this afternoon or this evening. So look it over if you'd like that. I'll try to ask Jim to put something up on our Oak Hills Park Authority website, and so people know that positions are open, will be opening in July, and that now is a good time to apply. If we want to do an email, I thought about encouraging Jim to send an email, but when I heard 5,000 members, I was thinking maybe we'd overwhelm the application pool. I don't know. So I at least think we should put it on the website. I'll talk to Alan about that more when he gets back.
Yeah, and when we have the tennis website, if we could put it there too. We ought to think about whether we should let it blast out. I mean, but do you have to be a Norwalk resident? I forget.
Yes, you do.
Yeah, I would think for the town committees, it would be a requirement.
Mhm.
I haven't checked the charter to be truthful, but everybody I know is from town.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you do, Gary.
Okay.
Any other questions or concerns about those issues? If not, we'll go on to Mr. John Lloyd and the restaurant report. John?
Hi, folks.
Thank you. Good evening.
Good evening. Lovely to see everyone. Hope everyone's had a good winter season. For us at Odean's, it's been another pretty long winter, one we are happy to see the back of. But in summary, I guess our band night revenues that we were kind of hoping that we'd be growing, the revenues and attendance have been down from last year. I understand they've been down across town this winter generally. And the regular restaurant revenue has been down again from last year. Pretty poor attendance, despite consistent marketing campaigns to the Oak Hills membership as well as the wider community. But again, reflecting local trends where January and February have always been the Bermuda Triangle of the restaurant trade. But private parties have been pretty solid, and they're showing signs of major growth for the year, with lots of inquiries and dates booking out. And our cost base continues to go up. It's certainly a pretty hostile climate for retail at the moment. But the business has pulled through and kept its valuable staff employed. The new managers have settled into their roles, and we're eyeing the calendar and the weather to coincide with the critical mass of golfers to get the wheels turning finally and the various restaurant operations to start functioning again. It's worth noting that Ridgefield Golf Course, where we have a restaurant, have earmarked April 7th or 8th as their opening day. So still a couple of weeks out. In Norwalk, we're interested in learning whatever fate Oak Hills has in store for us in terms of outings and what the outings will be allowed to get away with in terms of bypassing the restaurant. It's unfortunate that despite 2 years of data and reasonable requests to the leadership for some minimum terms, we're still at square one and looking down the barrel of a season where outing organizers have the option not to spend a cent with the restaurant if they choose to, potentially leaving us again in the bizarre position of having to close the business on beautiful summer days with a full golf course because they've been allowed to take their business elsewhere. So we're hopeful with the exciting arrival of Nick Novak that will be attracting new outing organizers with proper budgets to help keep the restaurant ticking over in season. So here's to a wonderful golfing season of full tee sheets at Oak Hills. It's worth reiterating that if anyone has any feedback or suggestions or specific needs for parties or catering, we're very receptive and open to continuing to build our partnership with the Oak Hills community. Cheers.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, John. Any questions for John in the restaurant?
Yeah, I'd like to comment on the outings. I'm with John. I really am. And I'm disappointed to hear. I thought we were managing that better when we were arranging to have outings. Maybe that didn't happen, and a lot of people signed up while Paul was still there. But I really think that if an outing doesn't want to use the restaurant, we say thank you very much and go find another place. I just don't think it's right. And I think it's time for us to put our foot down as the authority and do that. I don't have the financial numbers. Maybe Mark wants to put something together for us, and we should look at that as we look at the budget. But does anyone else have any comments on that?
I agree completely with you, Gary. I think we need to support the restaurant in any way we can. And I didn't realize that that was happening with the outings, but I do think it needs to be addressed.
Thank you. Yeah, it's bewildering because we had a very modest proposal for a minimum $20 per person spend for this year, but it was rejected. So as we're not asking for much, but when an outing doesn't spend anything with us, but there's signs on the road saying golf course closed for the golf course is closed for the day, we have our hands tied behind our back, and
Right.
we have to. We have staff in a kitchen where there's no one coming through the doors. It's quite frustrating.
So, John, so there was a proposal that was out there for the $20 per head for
Yeah.
the parties, and I guess I wasn't aware of that. Was that a rejection through a vote, or how was that a rejection?
Well, I think it was a unilateral rejection by the former chair. Because it would scare away some of the legacy outings that have set budgets, and it just wasn't going to work with them.
Well, that would be interesting to see. Again, I don't know. I guess Mark would hate to put this on your plate, Mark, but you would be the person probably who would have the information on the outings, on, who's coming back year to year, and what what open spaces there are and how many people are returning, and to know if that's really something we should look into more sternly.
I could pull data from the system to see what, I don't keep information on outings. I have very little to do with it, but I can pull information for that. And a year or so ago, we did have a good meeting in regard to outings in general. And number one, John, I also agree with you. There's no way you should be cut out of that business. In addition, we've had cases prior where we have an 80-person minimum and people show what 50 people, 60 people, whatever it is. And it's, for me, we should not be closing the course for that. Obviously once you hit 100 people, that's where we will close the course. And I would like to stick with that 100 people plus, and make them use the restaurant. And Nick, we could talk about this further too, but that is where we can actually make money, because I did an analysis and there were several times where we did not have an outing on a Monday, and we made more money with just regular golfing than an outing. So to me, we don't need the outings, but obviously we want to, if we have a legacy, groups that have come here, certainly want to work with them for that. Absolutely. But we can get by without outings.
Yeah. It's worth noting that for the first time, this is year 3 for us, and we haven't really been approached by any of the outing organizers yet for their F&B needs, which is a little bit concerning. It's like the messaging has gone out that no decision has been made about encouraging them to utilize the restaurant, whose primary purpose is to service the golfing community at Oak Hills. So it's a little bit of an indicator that the intention doesn't seem to be there with some of the outings once again.
I think one thing, John, and Jim Holiday, maybe you could jump in as well, but I think because of the transition from having a head pro, we haven't done as much as early as normal to reach out to the outings. But again, I'm not really part of that process, but normally we'd be doing this January, February, and so forth, and I don't think that's happened yet. So that may be one of the reasons, John, is that simply we haven't had the conversations yet.
And that was going to be my question. Who organizes the outings? And when they're meeting with the different companies, who's having those conversations to be able to say, here's what we have for our restaurant, and we'd really like you guys to utilize them. Here's this great deal, whatever the case may be.
I can answer that to some extent, since we haven't had a golf professional until this month. I have been managing the communication with the outing coordinators. I can tell you that we have 2 new outings. I can tell you that one of the quote unquote legacy outings is not returning this year. I can tell you that with every communication that I send, included with it is the Odin's outing menus. I can tell you that I certainly have encouraged folks to use the restaurant. And Nick and Steve Shepard and I are going to be, we've had 2 meetings on the outings. We do have a full schedule, with the exception of August. We usually at this point have a full schedule from April, or even, excuse me, from May, although we did have a couple in April last year, all the way through October 12th. This year, I say again, every weekend, every Monday is booked except for 3 in August, which historically is quiet. But the 3 of us are going to be having our final meeting on the outings, and the contracts will be going out next week. So more telling at that point. With that, at that point, I'm quite certain that the outings coordinators will be contacting Odin's to set up whatever food and beverage they're going to be taking advantage of.
Has there been any thought about maybe increasing the per person on the outings by $20 and saying it includes
Yes.
meal at Odin's, and just kind of give them an upgraded package for a little bit more if need be?
Yes, we did consider that, Jennifer, and as John pointed out, it was rejected.
Okay.
Can I say, was Alan rejected that?
I guess the only way I can answer that question is yes.
Well,
All right, why don't we, this is going to be an issue. I think you have to, I mean, I'll go back to I don't want to interrupt you, Gary. Sorry, you want to finish your comment?
I just going to say, I think since the August is open, I think we ought to come up with a policy. And if they don't want to use the restaurant, then we don't want the outing. Okay.
Yeah, I was going to suggest that we
really,
get, I mean, Alan's going to be back soon, and I think we have to, I suggest we get Jim, a group together, particularly with Nick and you and Alan and Gary and whoever else wants to be involved in it, Mark, and try to come up with something that we can put on the next agenda too, and just both for those arrangements that have already been made, but also for the future, something that tries to do better with getting these golfers to go to the restaurant.
Yeah, the sooner we can come up with something, and I really think we ought to have that ready for anyone who might want to be there on one of these open dates.
Yeah. Yeah, we've been talking about this a long time, and I know I think the transition with the Golf Pro has really slowed this down, my guess. But I feel sorry for John and the restaurant, because this has been going on too long now. So let's try to put it on the agenda.
I think I can chime in here just to help out. So I'm just getting my arms around the outing situation, and I agree. I've never seen a situation where they can turn down food and beverage at the host club. So that's strange in its own right. And so I want to address it. I mean, it's crazy to me that they can do that. So just rest assured, I'm getting my arms around a lot of stuff, but outings is a big one, and I'm all on board. I think we're all seeing eye to eye here, that this is something that has to be addressed and most likely adjusted going forward, because it's not a huge moneymaker for us. I don't think, as we mentioned, the Monday play sometimes outperforms the outings anyway. And so we're going to be in a position where we can pick and choose the outings that we want to take. with a little bit more selectivity. Sterling Farms has dropped outings completely from their program. So
Yeah.
there's going to be a lot of businesses looking to do an outing with us that maybe in the past were at Sterling Farms. So I think this puts us in a position of leverage, and we can kind of establish our own guidelines, including food and beverage is a big part of it.
Okay, I would like to see if we can get, some guidelines, some draft guidelines, up and done as soon as you can. I know it's a tight time frames that we could come back and even vote on as a authority, and we'll talk to Alan when he comes back.
And
Fair enough? Yeah, Denise?
John, and I got your email in regards to, your note about trying to improve the usage of the restaurant with the tennis community. And we'll put our heads together with the tennis friends and, get Arlen involved and anybody that we can to see how we can promote the restaurant in some way to, have our players use the restaurant for, either for gatherings or, just coming over and having a meal more
Yeah,
often.
just a glass of wine. We're here for you. So we'd
So we'll
love to
work
do
on
that.
that and we'll talk with you on, ways that we can try to accomplish that.
Thank you so much.
So thanks, John, for bringing up the issue. It's a good issue. We hope we can do better with it this year for you. And we'll move on, if that's okay, to the nature advisory and our our not world traveler, our traveler, U.S. traveler, Mary Varel.
Good evening, everyone. I don't know if it's good to be back or not. I think I'd rather be in the desert, but here I am. We've actually accomplished quite a bit over the winter. We're up to 12 members in the Oak Hills Nature Advisory Committee. We now have three city council members, including Rich, Johan Lopez, and Broderick Sawyer. So we're very excited, and we plan on, doing great things here. The alternative natural lawn, which we started last year, we're kind of reworking it. There was a drainage issue that we were not aware of when we established it, so it's in the works as we speak. The food forest, which we were planning for the spring, is still on board. We received one grant for $4,000. And I think we're awaiting to hear from another grant. And if Bob, if you hear of anything downtown that would be appropriate, we'd love to look at it because we're looking to really establish this as a first off in this whole area, and I think it would bring a lot of people in here. Along with the alternative lawn. The composting area, we're working with a master gardener, Nisha Oliver, and Jim and Nisha met, and we're going to go ahead with a composting area in the lower parking lot there. So that's in the works. Our first talk in February 21st, we had Composting 101, and we had no idea who was going to show up, but we had over 75 attendees show up for this lovely talk that Nisha Oliver gave. And I want to thank Odines because they serve the refreshments, and the plan is to continue to have activities and talks and those kinds of things, and bring people into the park and into Odine. So we'll do what we can on that level also. We plan to hold more talks in the spring and in the summer. We're kind of positioning the nature center as the Norwalk Nature Center. So that's kind of so we do a lot of these first time demonstration areas and such. And so that's how we are going to position ourselves going forward. We partner with the Norwalk Garden Club. We will continue to do that. And we continue to partner with Parks and Rec and Sarah Cruz, our city arborist. We're planning a bio blitz in the spring. We haven't got a date yet where we go through our forest and it's sort of citizen science, and it involves the whole community, where we go in there and we see what's in our forest and what is it worth, and it should be a really fun event. The events that we've had in the past with the Tai Chi and the walks and the forest bathing have been successful, so we're going to continue to work on those things, and that's what I got. Any questions?
Yeah, Mary, I got one. Sounds like you had a lot of participants and everything. As golfers swarm the course, you may have to consider what time you're going to do some of those because you're going to run into a parking problem. You know what I mean?
Right, right. Yeah.
So,
Yeah, that is something we're going to have to balance, obviously. Yes.
okay.
All right. Thank you very much, Mary. Nice to have you back.
Well, thank you.
In the thick of it. So look forward. Any more city council members on the committee? We may have to have a city council meeting in your your place. Anyway, we'll go on to the next report. Denise, in tennis.
Good evening, everybody. I mean, basically, working with Arlen and the friends to help support him and get the everything up and running. You know, as he said, everything is moving along. We did have, thank you to Jim and Steve Shepard. We did have some updates on our tennis drop-down menu on the Oak Hills Golf Course, which I'm really happy that that's been tackled and starting to have more current and better information on it. And if we don't have the link to Arlen, once he has everything up and running, we definitely will put that there. I hope to update that monthly with maybe our Friends of Tennis minutes on there so that people can see what the Friends of Tennis are actually doing on the website. And just to touch base on the screens, Jim, Shell, you were there?
I am.
How are you?
How are you?
So, you know, since we're in the middle of trying to figure out the best way to handle this, it sounds like on both ends of courts 1 and court 6, we should consider having a different size for those screens so they allow the doors to be open and shut and usable.
Well, I think what I meant by my comments on that email are the gates are around the corner from where the windscreens are going. And it's near impossible to overlap the windscreens, and the fence is 300 feet. So if they're 50 feet, they're going to be butted right up against each other. And inevitably, you're going to end up with 6 inches going around the corner on one end of the court, and the gate is going to interfere with that. So, I mean, maybe one of them could be 40 feet. I don't know if that's a custom length, if that costs extra, but that would probably fit better, and there'll be no issues, just to make sure that there's no issues when you hang them.
So that's what you're suggesting, is for one of them to be about 40 inches versus just
40
one
feet.
of them, not on both ends, just one end?
They could be spaced evenly all down the length of the fence. And
Okay.
you know, it'll be there might be a couple feet on one end that is open, but it's better than having to go around the corner and block one of the gates.
Well, I mean, a couple of feet open at the end isn't going to matter.
Right,
So
right.
besides, there's trees on both ends to help block some of the wind. So I don't think that would be a problem for us. Okay, thank you. And Jim Holiday, I know you're there, so we could work on that. The quote that you got from Oval and maybe see what adjustments might need to be made.
Will do.
Thank you. I don't have anything else to really talk about for the tennis because, you know, we're just in the throes of hoping that it's going to get open in a month and we're going to start playing tennis. Everything will go good.
Thank you, Denise. I did say to Denise earlier, starting next month, Arlen will be here. Part of his contract to give a tennis report, but that I think we'll change the tennis to Tennis Friends report. So Denise will report from Tennis Friends perspective, and Arlen will report from the professional side, and then we'll try to keep Denise on, throughout the, after, even beyond her tenure on the authorities to keep the tennis friends there. So thanks again, and we'll go on, if that's okay, to supporters of Oak Hills Park with Jerry. I know he's down there.
Yeah, good evening to everyone.
I got no
Sorry,
letter, so
I don't know what's going on with the video, but you got me. You can listen to me.
you sound great.
Thanks so much. The letters of acknowledgement and thank you went out to all the donors that we had recorded. Between Mark and I, we do that. And that's it, for the report. They're all, because we're 501c3, so people can use those letters as a deduction on their income tax. So that's
Yeah,
it.
sorry, I got mine, so I appreciate you getting them out. One question I got is they came in later, I thought, this year than usual, and I know I had even finished my tax preparation. Is it some reason that it's coming out so late, and can people still use it if it comes out beyond the time they actually go to do their taxes?
Well, it actually came out probably in the mail a week later than we usually send them out. Okay, as long as we get them out in the February time frame. But this year, because of a couple of situations I had, I couldn't get to them.
Mm.
But next year we'll try to do better.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I didn't get any complaints, but
And Rich, as an accountant, I could just say that if you know about it, if you had that knowledge that you remember that you had given that money, you can claim the deduction, and then when you get the letter, it's great as support in case you are ever audited. But you can certainly claim the deduction without that. Yeah.
Great. All right. Thank you very much.
Before we let Jerry go away, since
there you
Nick
go.
is new, can we just, I understand this foundation or whatever it is for Oak Hills, not just tennis. It says supporters of Oak Hills Park. It could be for nature. It could be for the golf course. And if somebody gave, they would just have to restrict it to tennis or golf or a specific project or whatever. But we have a 501c that's mission is for supporting Oak Hills Park, correct?
That is correct, and it's acknowledged in each one of the letters what it's for, whether it's tennis, whether it's for general, okay, or whether it's for nature.
Okay.
And on the website, Gary, when you go to do it, you go to donate using the website link. There's a drop-down menu, so you have to put in either golf, tennis, or nature, and then it indicates for the online donations that it go to those accounts, which Mark keeps.
Right. And having been in a nonprofit, I want sometimes some letters are automatic in some of the software when a donation comes in. And perhaps I don't know what, I know Mark is, ends up doing this, but maybe we can figure out if there's some sort of technology that can help with the letters and they go out right after the donation or something.
Jerry, you want to comment?
Yeah, Rich took care of that for the since I've been aboard with the last 3 years.
Yeah,
he does one as thank you from the tennis committee.
Yeah, I was going to mention that, Gary, just because they only come out once a year, and then typically January, February for all the tennis. Now, I actually resigned from Tennis Friends because I just got a little bit too much on my plate. But when we all the tennis donations that came in, the Tennis Friends took the same basically template, the letter, and we sent it out within the same week that they gave it. So most of the Tennis Friends donations get acknowledgement, both that we received it and we indicate that a future letter will be coming from the supporters so they know it'll be coming down.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
So that's how the Tennis Friends have handled it, because of the once a year, the supporters, they don't have that many volunteers. And I know it's not so easy for them to do it.
Well, while Jerry's doing nothing in the pro shop, he could put them out that way.
Well, thank you very much.
That was very nice, Gary. I'll just add to that, Rich, I'm taking over that role for you, Rich, at this point. So we have had one donation, but I'll be, doing the letters for the tennis in particular. I mean, I don't mind doing letters for anybody other. If there's nature donations or golf donations, it's just that I don't think they come in. I think they're very sparingly. I'd be happy to, if I'm notified, I could take care of letters that come through the year.
Supporters.
They are very far and few between. I think we have one or two non-tennis donations per year.
But I'm just offering my service if it is needed, if it comes through.
All right, let's talk about, seeing that you're now a member of the supporters. Why don't we bring that up at our next meeting, how we're going to do that?
Okay.
Yeah.
Terrific. That'd be great. Thanks, Denise and Gary. We'll go on to long-term planning with Gary Leeds, our report for long-term planning.
Okay, well, actually, some things are starting to happen. Jim Shell had a review of the course done, and he put together a wonderful worksheet. So we have something to start looking at as far as the course is concerned. I also reviewed with Jim Holliday the study that he had done on the facilities. So things are starting to happen as far as, at least knowing what we have, what we might need, and begin to lay out an ultimate plan on that stuff. And I'll mention the first tee is that there's activity there, and that's all I'll mention as far as the long-range plan with that right now. So we're not going to get this done, obviously, by the end of June, but I think we'll get it moving throughout the year, so it'll be good. And Denise, I haven't had a chance to talk to you. We're obviously waiting for Arlen to get on board, and maybe we should start activating, if tennis has any ideas and how we want to handle that. So that's where we're going.
Okay, any questions for Gary? If not, thank you very much, Gary. We'll go on to our new homegrown golf professional, Nick Nowak. Thanks for hanging around, and I'm trying to make this as short as Alan does the meetings. I'm not being that successful, but Nick, can you give us an update on golf? Well, you gave us an update, but can you go over it?
Thank you. Yes. I just want to say how excited I am to be here at Oak Hills, and how appreciative I am of the warm welcome I've received from the board members, the staff, just the all around the community in my first couple of weeks. I'm battling a little bit of illness, so sorry if my nose is a little stuffed up still. My initial focus has just been getting a clear understanding of current golf operations, connecting with all the staff members, and beginning to organize the programming and systems for the upcoming season. Oak Hills has clearly a great foundation and a strong history. Looking forward to building on that, hopefully creating an environment where everyone feels welcome and everyone feels supported here. I'm really excited for this upcoming season. One operational improvement that I want to mention we've been working on is standardizing our twilight tee time schedule. So in the past seasons, the last tee times were adjusted kind of day-to-day basis. It can create a little confusion. So I've been working with the golf operations team. We created a schedule based on the sunset, the civil twilight data, so that the last available time remains predictable throughout the season. We have a last 18-hole time, and then we're actually unlocking another 45 minutes or so of 9-hole tee times that in the past were not available. So if someone wanted to pay a greens fee after the tee sheet had shut down, they would give cash to somebody that worked on staff, and the guy on staff would put cash in the mailbox. Just not a great system for long-term sustainability. So the goal is to improve clarity for customers so they know exactly when the last 18-hole tee time is, and they know exactly when the last 9-hole tee time is. This should help the staff manage the tee sheet a bit more efficiently, allows golfers to better understand realistically when they can complete 9 holes or begin a round later in the evening. Small operational improvements like that can help reduce confusion, improve the overall golfer experience, and allow the staff to focus on customer service rather than constantly adjusting the schedules and putting cash in the hands of our starters and rangers. So it sounds like we ran the numbers on this, and the added twilight 9-hole tee times, if we get 1 golfer per tee slot, it's an extra $50,000 of revenue, and as many as 4 golfers for every slot would be $200,000 in golf course revenue. So it's substantial, and this is money that was kind of just maybe hanging out there in the wind, that maybe sometimes we captured and sometimes we didn't. Maybe if a guy showed up late, they would just let him go out there, walk a few holes with his kids, which is fine after the last 9-hole time. So I just wanted to use this meeting to kind of go over one aspect that we've looked deeply into and incorporated, and kind of fine-tune the system a bit so that we can focus a little bit more on customer experience.
Terrific. Thanks. Any other questions for Nick?
Yes.
Go ahead, Mark.
Oh,
Right.
sorry, Gary. Thank you. Nick, I wasn't aware of the handing off of cash. What I was aware of, if someone came in at the last minute, call it if we're closing at 6 o'clock, they come in at 6:01, and whoever was working at the pro shop would have to basically sign in a new instance and then accept the money and then put it in the mail in the box. But I was not aware that any money goes, any cash was ever given to any starter or ranger. So I would like to talk to you about that, because I never got that cash. So I don't know how that worked, and if it was ever rung up. I certainly trust all of our employees. I just was not aware of that, and I would like to hear more on that offline.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
So would I.
Any other questions for our new homegrown golf pro, Nick Nowak? Nick, I just saw something in the write-up you gave us, and that was about interviewing for an assistant golf pro. How does that affect the current teaching pro? I'm just curious.
It shouldn't. The assistant pro role is more tournament support, managing and running all the tournaments and outings, and just overall leadership on site. So it's more to help me maintain proper leadership on the course all the time, so I don't have to.
And I assume you're working with Mark to have this in the budget for July 1st.
Sun up to sundown, 7 days.
I'm sorry.
Absolutely.
Yep. Okay. All right.
Hi, Nick. How are you? Just saying
Hello.
hello. I haven't met you yet, actually. Would that position be part-time or full-time?
It's part-time in terms of benefits. In terms of, like, on paper, it's part-time, but it's part-time because over the year they're not going to hit the yearly amount of hours that they would need to be full-time. But for 6 months they're going to be working full-time.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
I think we'll be hearing about this in the budget process, I would assume, if there's any addition to the staffing side. So good luck at that. Thank you very much, Nick. Thanks for joining us. I hope you feel better.
Thank you.
All the best. We'll see you hopefully before next month, but thanks for chiming in. All right, we'll go on to the next report, which is, I think, if I get my agenda right, after the, I have to check because I'm not as good as Alan in this. After the golf, we go to the superintendent, Jim Shell.
Hey, everybody. So the course so far has come through winter really well. I mean, with the winter we had, everything looks pretty good. There's no real damage out there. I suppose it could still happen, but I really don't think it will with what we see in the forecast. We've been waiting for ground conditions to get to a point where we can take some equipment out there, and we think that tomorrow's the day so we can prep the greens and have them open on Saturday, starting Saturday. We're going to keep the tees closed. We have covers on a number of them, and any recovery that we can get on those tees under the covers will be beneficial in the long run on the course. Some of the ground staff's going to be returning next week. Our assistant, Corey, is unfortunately moving on. He's found a position in Rhode Island, and that's more in line with what he's done for most of his life. He was in golf before he went to this career, and he gave me a commitment to be here all of last season, and he's fulfilled that. And so I'm in that boat again, looking for another assistant.
Mm.
Things are going to ramp up for us pretty quick next week. We're going to have a few guys back, and then the rest will be returning on the 30th. And then I think I need to make a couple of new hires after that. But I've had some leads, and it looks like we're going to be just fine, staff-wise. So, and that's my report.
That's good to hear. Thanks. Any questions for Jim? Jim, I just know we got a new lawnmower in. I happened to stop by and met Corey, actually. Sorry you're losing him, but that lawnmower will be all ready to go. That big fancy one that we bought.
Yep. Yep. We got the new to us large area rough mower. It's the Cadillac of rough mowers, just it's got some hours on it, that's all. But should make a difference.
Good. Thanks
Maybe
very
I
much,
should
Jim. Appreciate the
chime
report.
in.
Anybody else? Any questions?
Maybe I should chime in here is what's happening with the old mower and whether or not we're trying to get any money for all that we spent there.
Yeah. Well, that one, nobody's going to want that one. And the terms of the lease don't allow us to do anything with it other than keep it until the lease is over. So
But, yeah.
the old mower we are going to list and try to get some money for. The one that we tried to replace a couple of years ago.
Mm-hmm.
We fixed it and I was going to sell it, but good thing we didn't because we needed it more than half the time because the new one was, that whole lemon situation.
Right.
So
So at one point, I think we talked about that the representative or whatever was going to refund funds to you for all the spare parts we had to buy. It didn't work or something.
still waiting for that. Yep.
Is Randy involved at all? Are we considering suing anyone or?
I had given him a bunch of information a while back, and I have not heard any updates on the status of that.
Okay. All right. Gotcha.
Any other questions for Jim? All right. Thank you very much, Jim. We'll go on to the controller, Mark Gardner.
All right, thanks, Rich. I think last month it was you, Gary, that asked me to provide the breakdown by category for all the annual pass holders, limited and unlimited and so forth. And I have that information safely sitting in a folder on my desk at work. So along with the agenda in my report. So I'll look at the my report electronically here in a second. I'll just send a quick email out to the entire authority tomorrow with the numbers. It take 2 seconds. Regarding my report in the month of February, so we basically broke even for our net operating income for February. We were closed the entire month, so any revenue came from memberships, gift cards, and stuff like that. We're still doing fine with our revenue rounds. Our golf rounds and our cart rounds are slightly above budget, but the discount ID card membership sales through January and February have been definitely less than budget and less than last year. And I think a lot of it has to do with just it was a really frigid snowy, icy winter. I think people just didn't have golf in their mind. And so now that we've opened, well, partially opened for this past week, I'm starting to see some more purchases. So I guess you got, people coming in for their first round and up in their membership. So I expect as we get closer to opening fully, we'll start recouping some of those sales. But we're still doing fine year to date. We're still $183,000 over budget for our net operating income, and our cash is higher than budget, higher than last year. So we're doing fine. But as I've already told a few of the members, I just had to send a $55,000 check over from Bankwell, which is our investment bank, to cover because our main operating bank we are running out of funds there, and we had quite a bit to start the winter with, but being closed for over 2 months now, and we just had March. Every year in March we have a very large business insurance bill. This year bigger than ever, and that went out along with we've had a lot of repairs and maintenance that Jim helped orchestrate. It's perfect time to do it, and we actually had a check run of $80,000 this week, and that is definitely a new high. So anyway, just want to let you know that we are seeing now a significant decrease in cash throughout March, but hoping that now that we're at least partially open, we're getting some money in, and as the weather gets warmer, we should get back to doing just fine. So I'm not worried, but in the short term, let's not overspend right now. That's all.
All right, thanks. Any questions for Mark?
Yeah.
Hey, Mark.
Hey.
When does our new cart lease payments kick in?
That is a good question. It's either April or May is the answer.
Okay, so we got I've got a month or so.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Okay.
But hopefully, again, by April 1st, if we're making revenue now, then that should help to offset. And like I said, that $80,000 run was a lot. We should not see anything close to that again. So it should start balancing and growing. Yep.
Yeah. Thank
Good
you.
question, though. Thank you.
Any other questions to Mark? I have one, Mark. I just saw the last line in your report. You mentioned about the focus on bunkers for the first half of the fiscal year. What's the story with bunkers going forward?
Oh, that's a question for Jim Shell. I keep the budget. I don't create that part of the budget.
Is Jim still there?
Yeah. What was the question? Sorry.
Well, the last line in Mark's is we're investing in higher than normal capital improvements throughout the course of the year with a focus on bunkers in the first half of the fiscal year. I'm wondering where we were with bunkers.
There's nothing new happening with bunkers. That's all finished up.
Okay.
It was a 2-year project, and I think now that we're done with that, and it was quite an expense each year, so that should free us up in fiscal year 27, starting this July, to focus on some other projects.
Great. Okay, good. I thought we were done with bunkers. That's why I just questioned the thing. Thanks very much, Mark. We'll go on to the general manager, Jim Holliday.
Thank you, Rich. We have finished the replacement of the sagging waistline. It was much less painful, both financially and structurally. It was about a $9,500 job. I had visions of it being much more expensive than that. It took 3 days. I hope you took a look at the pictures. They're kind of fun, or I enjoy that type of construction. Spent a lot of time with Nick and Steve Shepard over the past few weeks, onboarding Nick and just sharing with him lots and lots of information. And he's been managing that extremely well. We had a first team meeting, which was introduced by Alan, and Nick made a presentation to his team. And I think it went extremely well, really well received. Denise mentioned that we did some revisions to the tennis section of the website. She also mentioned that we are purchasing new windscreens. The ones we had were very old. We got our money's worth, I can assure you. They're not a hugely expensive item, but they're in the $3,000 to $5,000 range. But we're close to making a decision on that. We also have been working with a telephone system that is no longer supported. And we got our money's worth with that as well. Thankfully, we have an IT and telephone consultant on our team, Scott Webb. And so Scott did a lot of the research so that Mark and I had a relatively easy time approving the new phone system. It is not a heavy lift to get started, and on a monthly basis, it is less than the big guys. So we are very happy to be able to put Optimum in the rearview mirror, we should have that contract signed by the end of this week. It's with a company called Ring Central, which is a cloud-based business phone system, rather than getting myself lost in this area that I'm not expert in, I'll tell you to all go to their website. I'm told it's a great system, and again, we're relying on Scott Webb, who really knows his way around telephones. Mark and I have resolved the issue with the help of Joyce Liu at the City of Norwalk, the IT director. We now have City of Norwalk email addresses that will help us resolve issues that we may have during the meetings, and knock wood, we won't have any, because she's added a couple of safeguards with Zoom that will allow us to use multiple devices in the event of executive sessions and manage our affairs better than we did some recently. I recall that ill-fated meeting in December, which was a nightmare. We got through it, but it wasn't a lot of fun. And the final issue is a very important one, and we don't have any resolution on it, but it has to do with our request to join the City of Norwalk's employee health insurance plan. The new chief of staff and the city clerk were referenced earlier, really solid individuals who tell us that they're going to work on it, and conversations have begun with the human resource director. Robert, you'll be getting a call from me sometime this week to see if you have any pull or any advice for us there as well, because it's really important to us that we be allowed to offer a more substantial health insurance plan for our employees. So that's my report, and I'm open to any questions.
Yes, they have talked to me about it, and they're working on it.
Good, thank you. Glad to hear that.
I don't see any reason why it can't. It shouldn't happen.
From your lips to God's ears, Robert.
Yeah, I've given them some examples where, in other places where things like this have worked. So, so hopefully they'll check with those sources and come up with some good results. But I'll keep pushing them. I have a meeting with Lamont the chief of staff every 2 weeks. So had a meeting with him today. We talked about it a little bit. So we'll keep.
Thanks for your efforts.
And I know Robert has a great influence at City Hall. He's still there, in matter of fact, working. So that's how hard he works. So
4 more units.
Oh, good.
Yeah, 4 more units. So not running for president or anything, but so that was good. That was good. I was happy about that. So.
Any other questions for Jim?
I do have a question. Jim, so the internet connection at the tennis house may need to be looked at. I know that Kings Highway had always had their own. And I met with Steve there last September when we had our tournament, and he kind of set up something, but I don't know if it's temporary or if it's something that, like Arlen and everybody can tap into. So we kind of need to figure out from Steve where that stands.
I think, Denise, we will go with Scott Webb instead. So if you send me a text, no worries, no worries. Steve is a wizard. There's no question, but Scott's Scott may have the upper hand in that area, and he's really helpful and available. He had a job that he was working in Florida 4 days a week, which he no longer has. So he's been spending time with Mark and I, and he's very willing. So I'll get him over there. If you would just text me a reminder, then I will follow through with him, and then maybe the three of us can meet over there so you can discuss your needs, so he'll know exactly what they are and begin to work on it.
Yeah, I meant to say Scott. I was calling him Steve, but I had my names were mixed up. Yeah, I'll definitely text you. And I didn't know the status is are the inventory still there from Kings Highway?
Some of it's gone, but yeah, they did begin the move out. There was going to be a two-step process, so we can follow through with that later as well.
Okay. Thank you.
My pleasure.
Thanks, Jim, for the report. Thanks for the photos, by the way. I did stop by to look at that construction project because I was a little skeptical, and my skepticism was removed after I saw the pipe and what they did. And I think, boy, it'd be nice to have no more backups in the restaurant. It would be a great thing for next year. So thanks for getting that done. All right. I think we go on to any old business. Does anyone can bring up anything they want to say from previous meetings or anything else in terms of old business? If not, anything for new business? If not, I'll take a motion for adjournment so Robert can go home. Someone making a motion to adjourn? Gary, thank you very much. A second?
Second, Jennifer.
Oh, Jennifer, thanks very much, Jennifer, for seconding the motion to adjourn. Listen, have a good night, everyone. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next month.
Good night.
Good night, everyone.
Good
Bye-bye.
Night. Good job, Rich.
Good night.
Good night.
Where are we here?